Okay, just want to welcome Scott to Revibed Records, the first podcast from the store.
It's not my first time, but it's my first time in your new shop.
It is the first time in the new shop. I mean, it's great to see you in here. A friend of the shop, if you want. Known Scott for a few years now. We've obviously moved into the new shop this week, just in time for Focus Wales, and Scott's here performing with his great band, Holy Coves. So, started off really, Scott. Tell us about Holy Coves.
Well, we're obviously great because you just said that. But no, we are a North Wales band from Anglesey, and yeah, Wrexham is pretty much our closest city to us, isn't it? You know what I mean? It feels like it's the capital of the north, and we've connected to here. It's important to the scene, and Wrexham is buzzing right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we love it here. We love it. It's somewhere. Focus Wales as well. Amazing. Great to be invited here as well. Wrexham's an important city for us. In Anglesey, we don't have that.
Okay.
We don't have. It's tiny, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have a city that if you're from Manchester or you've got bands that are from Liverpool. It's a lot easier. Don't care what anyone says. It's a lot easier. If you're from London, you can just say you're from London. We're from Anglesey, so and we still put on our odd show on Anglesey. But it's not the same as the population of a city.
So if I hadn't heard Holy Coves, what kind of music are we talking here? What's the kind of the vibe of it all?
Well, you have,
I know I have. Yeah, I'm trying to describe what I haven't heard.
And everyone puts tags and genres on us, and that's fine. I let people call us what they want us to be, to them, and that's important to me. That they kind of like, some people call us alternative, psych rock, some people call us grunge, some people call us indie, whatever. We are Awen rock, and we are something that we don't really feel that we fall into one category of genre, So we call ourselves that because of that reason.
So obviously the big album has been Druids. So tell us about the journey of Druids.
Well, this feels like my my life's work trying to create this record. Obviously I tried to create this record when I was first starting out in music, couldn't quite do it then, didn't have the experience. Made Honest Morn, which was an important learning record for me. But so we made the first album when we were kids, Honest Morn, and made that with Dave Wrench as well, which is he's one of the, I don't even need to tell anyone who David Wrench is, just Mix Blur's album, the list is endless for him. I got to spend 10 years with Dave writing, and learning production, and it was a good time. I did Honest Morn with him, and it was like a learning curve of production for me. Same as when we went to do Prove Your Mistake with him, it was like I knew what I was doing. I knew I could go into the studio, and I knew a few different tactics of recording. There's not everyone records the same, and I had tried them enough and I got to put it into do something slightly different than what I did with Honest Morn, and it was more live, and I really preferred it so much more. Not that Honest Morn wasn't live, it was just so many layers, and it took a lot of exploring to make that record. Whereas Prove Your Mistake, I just knew I'm not joking, it took us a week to just get 90% of the record done, and then it was only a week of mixing. It was like 3 weeks and it was done. And it was so live and raw and less overdubs. Whereas Druids and Bards, I was like, right, I'd had the experience of doing I'd say overproduced record, to kind of like, which I liked, but I loved the rawness of what the Mistake had, and I wanted to find a middle ground. So that's what I did with Druids and Bards, and some of these songs I had in me since I first started writing music. Some songs I wasn't confident enough to put them out there to people. Some songs I haven't finished, and I kind of just went down this rabbit hole of every like trauma, every good experience, every bad experience, and really suffered, but then came out with something.
Well, it's a strange album. I find when I listen to it, I have a favourite track, different one every time. It's like it's really a strange experience. You listen to it in certain moods, certain time of days, whatever, and you go, there's a track X is the favourite, and it becomes track Y. Even when you're playing it live as well. You know, and obviously I've got experience of that too. So I mean, when you're obviously a very busy man with the producing and the actual making of the music. You're obviously on tour a lot as well. What's your favourite? What kind of gets you up in the morning and go, I want to do this tonight?
I get bored easy, so all of it, if that makes sense, because you know I can go from one thing to the other. But when I'm writing, it's kind of obsessive and I'm in that world, and I can't really go to these places that I can't dwell on some of the stuff that I spend my time in writing, because it takes me to dark places. But I found a way of finding some sort of light in it all, and it's my therapy, to be honest. So I can't do this every day, if that makes sense. But I do a lot of writing, and I have times where I just obsess over it and then I go away from it. So at the moment I'm kind of like, because we're making Druids and Bards Chapter 2, you know, it's not obsessive, because I obsessed about writing the songs last year. Now I'm working on them with the band, so they're bringing their flavour, you know, their bits and their, you know, their parts of the songs, which is great. It's just turning it into something even bigger. And yeah, we're planning to record that, I would have said, end of this year. We're taking the summer out to go and literally record some demos. We've been demoing we took the early part of the year off as well to do that. January, February and March was about the new record, so if you don't put that time aside, it doesn't get made. So yeah, the whole summer will be about the new record. So I would have thought after the summer we're ready to record.
You've been in the music industry a long time. You know, you've been relatively
off and on.
How does Holy Coves, the band, you mentioned the band mates, etc. How does this group of lads rank alongside the
Number one, because Holy Coves has always been my solo project. It's been my baby, and it always will be. And I used to take it to heart when band members left and they didn't want to be a part of it anymore. And I always used to just take it so personal, where kind of sabotage it myself a little bit. I was inexperienced, I was young, and I didn't like the fact it felt like you were breaking up with someone. Do you know what I mean? It was you know, like a marriage. You know, it was horrible. But when I realised that people will come and go, and this will always be my thing, it made it a lot easier. So now I'm kind of like, if people want to stay in it, they can stay in it. But if people want to go, it'll carry on. You know. And it's a good thing to have for that, because it means that Holy Coves will never stop now. And do you know what I mean? I'm over all that stuff from when I was younger. You know, every member I've worked with have been, you know, top class. They've been amazing. But what I've got here now is professional musicians that I can count on. You know, people who are experienced as well. You know, in recording, experienced live musicians. Tour hard. You know, do you know what I mean? It's a different sort of musician. And then also as well is that we're all in the same type of, you know, come from the same walks of life. We've been there. You know,
on the same journey.
We've got the t-shirt type of thing.
Exactly.
And we're kind of like family men, you know. It's different, whereas we were party men before. Do you know what I mean? And I lost a good 10 years of my life in addiction. That's hence why I kind of went away from music. But I also didn't go away from music because all I did was writing. You know, there's good to it all. I mean, I just didn't want to be a part of this, and you know, there is a bullshit side to this bit too. You know, and I'm not talking about this interview. I'm just talking about it's not for everyone.
No, absolutely.
I think I've just found out how, you know, learned some skills and that I never thought I would have to learn. Anything I stutter, make sure you cut it out.
And I suppose all of that stuff then together is kind of like, I suppose that's what's created Druids and Bards and created the Holy Coves kind of a genre. I'd call it its own genre. I would even say it's that kind of.
It's its own genre. It's supposed to be.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be its own sound. It's supposed to be its own thing. We don't want to sound like anyone else.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, there's a band here, Spiritualized, that David Wrench put me onto, that are playing here tonight. Saturday night, which is amazing. And you know, that's a big influence for me. You know, I've got so many influences. I'm not joking. All genres of music. If it's good music and it touches me, it will influence me. But yeah, you know, Druids and Bards was I feel like I've been writing that album for for my whole life.
Yeah.
So to get that out is like such a relief, and it's freed me up to go and write more things, you know.
Yeah.
So I've wrote, you know, part 2 and part 3 already.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's great to be at Focus Wales.
Well, I think, I mean, as you say, Focus Wales is a great event. I think, you know, we were planning this chat, and you know, Scott came in the shop about 20 minutes before, and then there's other artists in here, a bit of a chat, which is fantastic because you cross over with that, and that links me on to the next question, really. You know, Holy Coves is obviously a very big part of your life and takes a lot of time, but the record label, let's go on to that. That's obviously another aspect that is huge for you.
Yeah, the label was always kind of like a part of the plan.
Yeah.
And you know, when we were doing the label idea originally, it was just for us to have all our music under one name.
Yeah.
That was all it was in the beginning, and I always thought like that because I've never signed to a label. You just wouldn't entertain it, not for a second. I have entertained the thought in the past. You know, I have spoke about these things before in the past. I have had offers, and stuff that were more when I was younger. That was just like, I found it quite insulting, to be honest. And I just wouldn't entertain it. I wouldn't compromise my art. I would never give up anything or have to change anything in my music. This is how I do it. And I just wanted to kind of like create something that would just be all our music under one name, and made sense really. So a Wither was kind of like, you know, it wasn't like ever planned to be an actual label as such. It was just a Holy Coves label, but it's turned into something else. We have Sister Envy on the label now, and they're great. You know, they're coming on leaps and bounds every time I see them. They are better, and that's what you need to do. I find is, you know, get them together, nurture them, let them do their thing. Let them learn on the live circuit. Let them learn writing their own songs together. They'll learn it themselves. And then every now and again I can step in and help them. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So yes, Sister Envy came onto the label, and part of the process is the next bit of the plan is that we will step into a new era now as Snowdonia Records.
Right.
And basically we have plans that we're going to bring in a band from the Northwest and a Scottish band too.
Right.
And Snowdonia Records is just so much easier as a marketable, you know, branding. You know, it's like, it makes sense, people understand it, whereas if you're Welsh, you understand it, we understand it. It's very important to me.
So do you think that's something you learned then? Because you know, you talk about the branding, etc. Is that something, as you've gone through your journey as a musician, you felt actually the branding aspects of,
I've been learning the business side of things for a while now. Right. You know, I had a manager that passed away in 2012 who was my best friend, who did everything for me, Singe, and we always planned this label just for Holy Coves, you know, not for other people, and we always planned the Wither anyway. Right. It didn't have a name then, but yeah, and I think people get confused as well on the Welsh scene because, you know, it's completely different to what we're doing. We're doing our thing. We don't really fall into that Welsh language category. We're never going to be that. So we figured that a Wither was quite confusing. Very confusing if you're from Scotland. Very confusing if you're from the rest of the UK. A lot of people in the Welsh scene get it. They love it. But from this day forward, we'll be known as Snowdonia Records. Okay. And we're not just a label, we're a management too. Okay. You know, we are a management and a label. And yeah, it just feels like the natural progression. We were doing, my wife's the editor for Music Scene Wales, and that's turned into something bigger called Indie Revolution, because we're working with bands all over the UK. And this is the natural progression for a Wither Records to turn into Snowdonia Records.
Fantastic. That's great. That sounds fantastic. So, what's next? I mean, we talked about the new album obviously coming later in the year and everything. Huge tours going on at the moment, going around the UK a lot more than just around here. 5 years' time, what's Holy Coves Scott doing in 5 years' time?
Well, the new record won't come out till next year. Yeah. It could possibly be where we start the single campaign next year and it comes out the year after that. We haven't, because it's not ready. Yeah. You know, it's ready when it's ready. I won't make records for the sake of it. When it comes out, it will be worth the wait. So we make another record. You probably get that next year. Yeah. You'll definitely get the singles off it next year. Yeah. But either way, yeah, we will have that out next year, the year after. And then we will still keep grafting the tour circuit, because what our plan is, we're bigger in certain areas than we are the others. The plan is to keep working on that to get it all to kind of like around the same capacities when we're going out there. And we've got some big plans for this year. We've got some big shows to announce, stuff that I can't even announce now. We've got the autumn tour. We've got 2 more dates on the spring tour. We've got obviously Focus Wales tomorrow, and then we have a Swansea and Birmingham double header. And then we have the autumn tour at the end of the year. But we've got some big Welsh shows to announce for the end of the year too. I think we're going to announce some stuff after the spring tour.
Okay.
So I've been asked not to announce them here. because it
You're
wouldn't make
the boss,
sense.
Scott.
It wouldn't make sense. Well, no, it just makes sense because I got to
I get
respect
that.
the people that work with and the
get it,
promoters, and
100%.
also, you know, you don't want to be pushing something
No, absolutely.
that when you've got other things to push before it, if
That's
that
fair.
makes sense.
That's fair.
So it makes sense. But yeah, we have got some big shows to announce. We're going to be doing a big Wrexham show before the end of
Great
the year,
stuff, great
and
stuff.
we're going to be doing a big Cardiff show before the end of the year.
That's great to hear.
On top of the shows we've already announced.
And we've already spoken to Scott previously as well. Moving into this shop's huge for us, so we want to have more artists coming in here, acoustic sets, whatever. We spoke to Scott a while back there. Hopefully we can still do that something in the future as well. So watch this space. So
Well, Sister Envy have a new single dropping tonight as well at midnight called Tide. So that will be their second release.
okay,
So yeah, Tide, Sister Envy come out. They play on Friday too. So yeah, that drops at midnight tonight. So
Great stuff.
really excited about that. I was involved in the production, the same team that did the Holy Coves, Druids and Bards.
Great
So
stuff.
we're trying to do everything in house as much as we
Yeah.
can. Cameron's a hell of a songwriter too. He's learning.
Yeah.
He's really good with production too. So pretty much with the team we've got, you know, we're doing everything in house. We don't,
Yeah.
for example, we don't need to go and outsource to record our records. We do it all on Anglesey.
Yeah.
And we've got a few people that we work with over in America and France as well. You know, people who we trust. You know,
Yeah.
professional ears.
and I suppose this is part and parcel of the folk as well, isn't it? It's getting those connections and then that
Yeah,
network and
Yeah.
people who can actually help you spread the word.
Well, it's great for networking here.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's one of the reasons we're here.
Yeah, which is great, fantastic. Right, well, I'm done. Really, I've got all the questions I've wanted to do for Scott. Scott, all I say is I appreciate you
Cheers,
so
mate.
much, mate. Good to see you.
Thank you very
I am
much.
delighted. I cannot explain how happy I am. It's that Scott is the first person we've spoken to, because Scott has been in the shop. He's been a fan of the shop for a while, so I'm delighted to say that. So we'll call it there. See Holy Coves
Deal.
this weekend, and also Sister Envy and Muddy Elephant. Muddy Elephant on your label as well.
No, they're not on our label. They're
Well,
just good
obviously.
friends. Really good friends. No, they're good, but they're a great band too.
Okay.
They'll go far.
Yeah, they are good band.
They're behind the Pine Fest festival, which we've got an announcement after Focus Wales of
Okay.
the festival too. But you
Okay,
know,
cool.
we'll keep that quiet for now.
Well, great. Thanks for your time, Scott. Really appreciate it, mate.
Cheers, bro.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.